Alright everyone, hello, it's Mr. Gilbertson. We're looking at Unit 3, Lesson 13. Basically these problems are kind of a review, and what we're trying to figure out is if these expressions are greater than 1 or less than 1. So what you'll have to do is, in some cases, just find the lowest common denominator, add them together, and see if the answer is greater than 1, you would circle this. If it's less than 1, you'd circle this. Okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use a different piece of paper to do my arithmetic. If you want to do it all on this piece of paper, that's fine too. So I'm going to zoom out a little bit here on my camera. Okay, just kind of show you guys what I'm doing here. Okay, so I'm going to do A and C. I'll do A and C here, and then I'll do A and C for number 3 too. I'll try to do it quickly. All right. So number 1, letter A starts with. Okay, we have 1/2 plus 2/7. Okay, this is pretty easy as far as getting the lowest common denominator. I'm going to do the arithmetic over here, which is like the work. But again, let me zoom in a little bit further just to kind of give you guys a little zoom here. It's shaking. Sorry about the wobble there. Okay. So again, what I'm going to do here, I know that 2 and 7, the lowest common denominator is probably going to be 2 times 7, which is 14. So I have to multiply this side by 2, and this side by 7. Okay. And again, ladies and gentlemen, there's not a lot of room. I don't like that. So what I'm going to do is zoom out again. And just do it over here. Okay, so I'm going to say 1/2. 2/7 times 2 times 2 times 7 times 7. Okay, that gives me 14 and 14. 1 times 7 is 7. 2 times 2 is 4. And it's all going to be over 14. 7 plus 4 is 11. 11 14ths. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if we had 14 14ths, we would have 1. But in this case, we have 11 14ths, so we have less than 1. Okay, let's take a look at number C. Letter C, okay. Letter C says 1 1/4 minus 1/3. Okay, so again, ladies and gentlemen, you might want to do this on a different piece of paper. I have the luxury of only doing every other one, so I have some space over here. Yesterday, we talked about this formula where we take the denominator times the whole number and add the numerator. Okay, so, and then that's all over the denominator. So that would look like this. Denominator times whole plus numerator over the denominator. Okay, so I'm going to plug those in. So 4 times 1 plus 1 all over 4. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 1 is 5, okay, over 4. So I have 5/4 minus 1/3. Again, I got the 1/3 from over here. You guys all see that? Yep. Okay. So basically 1 1/4 is the same thing as 5/4. Okay. Now, again, I have to find the lowest common denominator. I know that 4 times 3 is 12. I'm trying to think if they meet anywhere else before that, and they don't. So times 3 times 3 times 4 times 4. Okay, it's going to be over 12. 5 times 3 is 15, and 1 times 4 is 4. Okay, and ladies and gentlemen, it's all going to be over 12. Uh-oh. So denominator stays the same. 15 minus 4 is 11. And that's it, ladies and gentlemen. We have 11 12ths. That's our answer. And if we had 12 12ths, that would be 1. So we have 11 12ths, which is less than 1. So for letter C, it's also less than 1. Okay? So basically, ladies and gentlemen, we're just trying to solve these problems, and if they're more than 1, circle greater than 1. If they're less than 1, circle less than 1. Okay? Let's try a little bit more. Number 2, a little more challenging. Are the following expressions greater or less than 1/2? Okay, circle the correct answer. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, for these ones, I'm going to use a separate piece of paper just because there's going to be no way I have enough room here. Okay, So this one is a little bit trickier, and what I mean is after we figure this out, it's easy to tell if something is 1 or less than 1, but it's kind of trickier to see if it's half or less than half, or greater than or less than 1/2. So at the end, after you figure this out, then we're going to have to make an equivalent fraction of 1/2, and we'll see if it's greater or less than. I'll kind of walk us through it. So I'm going to do letter A, letter C on this different piece of paper here. Okay. So letter A is, we're looking at greater than 1/2 or less than 1/2, and we're looking at 1/4 plus 2/3. Okay, so again, ladies and gentlemen, what I'm going to do, I'm going to multiply this by 3, and this is from over here, and the denominator multiplies over here. So 4 came from over here, 3 came from over here. This is going to be over 12, and so is this one. Okay, and 1 times 3 is 3. 2 times 4 is 8. We're adding those. So then, ladies and gentlemen, we have 11/12 is our answer. Okay. So, ladies and gentlemen, now we're trying to look at is 11/12 greater than or less than 1/2. A lot of you are probably going to be able to say, "Oh, I know this already. It's more than 1/2 for sure." Okay. So we have to think like this, ladies and gentlemen. So 1/2. Okay. If we were going to make this half 12ths, I would have to multiply 2 by 6 to get to 12, which means I also have to multiply this. So an equivalent fraction as far as 12ths go would be 6/12. So we're really asking, is 11/12 greater than 6/12 or less than 6/12? 6/12 is the exact same thing as 1/2. It's an equivalent fraction. So now that we have these same denominators, we can tell, is it greater than or less than? And in this case, 11 is greater than 6. So if I was using my worksheet here, I'd say number 1 is greater than 1/2. Okay? Let's take a look at letter C. We're going to kind of do the same idea. What I'm going to do, ladies and gentlemen, is again, I'm going to do the whole number times the denominator plus the numerator over the denominator. So that's 1 times 7. Let's get this out here. 1 times 7 plus 1 over 7. Okay. 7 times 1 I know is 7. Plus 1 is 8. All over 7. So that would give me 8/7. So 1 1/7 is 8/7. It's just a mixed number and improper fraction form. Okay. So now I have 1 1/7 or 8/7 minus 7/8. Oh my. Okay. So ladies and gentlemen, this is going to be kind of wacky, but I'm going to multiply both sides by the other denominator. So times 8 over here, and then times 7 over here. Okay. And ladies and gentlemen, this is all going to be over 56. Okay, 8 times 8 is 64. 7 times 7 is 49. All over 56, of course. So 64 minus 49. I'm going to borrow from here. Gives a 5. 14 gives a 5. 5 minus 4 is 15, ladies and gentlemen. So we're left with 15/56. So ladies and gentlemen, if you're thinking here, again, we can kind of solve this just by using logic right now. Okay, we don't really need to make a balanced fraction, or what do you call that? Equivalent fraction, sorry. My little brain fart there. We can see, ladies and gentlemen, that 56, I know that 50, half of 50 is 25, and this is 56, so that's even larger. So to have more than a half, I would need more than 25, but I only have 15 here. So I can say already that I know it's less than a half, but if you really want to, you'd have to kind of figure out 1/2. What would I need to multiply that by to get to 56? I want to say I think it's 28. So 28. Yep, 28. So ladies and gentlemen, if I had an equivalent fraction, 1 times, so if I wanted to get 56 here, I have to multiply top and bottom by 28. So 1/2 is equivalent to 28 56ths. We have 15 56ths, so we have less than 1/2. Okay. Pretty wacky. Okay, so I've made a decision, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to make number 3 and 4 can-dos. Again, kind of the same idea here, solving for each side and figuring out which side is greater than or less than. Okay, I would urge you, if this stuff is easy for you, to continue doing this kind of stuff. I don't want to overwhelm everyone with all this stuff though, because it's kind of hard. It's one of those things that if we were learning in class, I could have more control and help you guys, but this distance learning, this kind of stuff is kind of tricky. So let's just do 1 and 2 for, let's 8 problems total. Okay, good luck, and I'll see you guys later. Sorry.